Hi, this is Steve. I want to show you how you can easily set up inventory in Dynamics GP to make it work within your company. We're going to take a look at units of measure schedules, inventory sites, item class setup, and items themselves. Let's get started. So let's start out by going to the inventory area page. And I'm going to scroll down to the setup area and look at the unit of measure schedule. And let me look up one that I've got in my system already. So there are a couple things about the unit of measure schedule which are important. One is that the unit of measure schedule ID is completely user defined. You can call them whatever you want. The second is that there is a base unit of measure that the system is going to use to track quantities and values, and each unit of measure schedule has a specific quantity decimal. Now I can have up to 5 decimal places on my items if I want to, and I can have 0 through 5, and every unit of measure has the ability to assign equivalency. So in this case, I've got a case equals 10 of my eaches. The base unit of measure is each here, and the system can keep track of the eaches. But if I want to, I can set up equivalencies, and this makes it easy from a purchasing standpoint and also from a sales standpoint. So for example, I may buy this item as a case, I may sell it as an each, or I may sell it as a case. And I can use the unit of measure in a transaction that best represents that particular item in that function. So if you want to use equivalencies, they're pretty easy to set up. Next, let's take a look at inventory locations. Go back to my inventory area page and look at cards and then site. I can have as many locations, inventory locations in my system as I want. It's more of a logical concept. So let's take a look at a warehouse here I've got set up. And this is a particular inventory location. It may represent a building, or it may represent something within inside that building. So I can set up as many as I want, and I can track quantities by each site ID and valuations by each site ID. And it's relatively easy to set up. You can see all I need is a site ID and a description. And then what I want to do also is I want to assign items to that location. So I hit the assign button here, and I can assign all my items to that location or just a few of them. It's another way to control the inventory movement within your organization by making a specific assignment from a particular item to one or more locations where that item is authorized. Next, let's take a look at the item class setup. We'll go back to the inventory area page. Let's scroll down to the setup area and look at item class. Item classes are similar to customer classes and vendor classes in that it allows me to group my items together. It also allows me to easily add additional items without having to do a lot of the default setup. So let's take a look at a particular item class I've got here. And here on this item class, I've got a number of things set up. I can set up the item type, the valuation method. I can also set up unit of measure schedules for those particular items, and I can set up 6 user defined fields as well. So I can do this all at item class level, and really the important thing is that I can also set up the inventory account. So if I click on the accounts button here, this shows all the general ledger accounts that are going to be used in transactions that involve particular inventory items. So this is the easiest way to set up general ledger accounts for particular items, is assign it to a class and then assign each item to a class. You can have one or more classes, as many as you want, that helps you manage your inventory. So next, let's take a look at the item master file. We'll go back to the inventory area page, go to cards, and click on item. Let me look up an item here. So this is a regular item in my item master file. And it's pretty easy to set up. All you need is an item number, a description, and a unit of measure schedule. And the important thing is that the unit of measure schedule must match the particular item as far as the quantity decimals. So here you can see this item has a quantity decimal of 0. The unit of measure schedule also has a defined quantity measure of 0 decimals. So this is important, and the system will enforce that. The option tabs allows me to assign additional information to this particular item. In this case, you can look at the categories. I have 6 user-defined categories, and I can assign values to each of these different categories. I've got 3 identified here. You can identify up to 6. Also, you'll notice on this item, and this is very important, I have these checkboxes marked to maintain history for the calendar year, fiscal year, transactions, and distributions. It's important to set this up, and the easiest way to do that is to set that up in the class ID. This has been a quick review of the inventory functionality in Dynamics GP. This is a setup. It's fairly basic. You have to set up the units of measure schedules, set up inventory sites where you can locate those items, and the most important thing I think is to set up an item class that you can easily assign default values to all your different items, and then the items themselves. These are the basic stock keeping units in your inventory system.